This news update is brought to you by
This is the 6 p.m. Barbados Today update for Thursday, August 28, 2014. A warm welcome to you. I'm Kmar Jordan. Good evening. Unreasonable and draconian. That's how former Prime Minister Owen Arthur today described the government's new policy on tuition payments at the University of the West Indies. In an interview with Barbados Today, Mr. Arthur said he was especially concerned about the welfare of those students who entered UWI under a free system and who are now being asked to pay. He's called for an urgent accommodation to be found for these students, who he says have been left both stranded and clueless about where they're about to find the money from to complete their education.
I think that whatever the government does from a fiscal point of view, it really should allow those who are about to finish their university degrees to finish under the rules under which they started. And if new rules are to be brought to bear, it's really to be applied to people who are about to enter, who should then decide if they can enter or not enter. But it's very heartbreaking to imagine that a person would have started a university degree course with certain expectations and know on the point, know that the finish line is within shouting distance, they can't finish. So at least make the accommodation to let people who are about to finish. I don't think that would break the treasury, but it will allow people to get their lives in order, and then you can deal with the matter.
Mr. Arthur is therefore insisting that the government needs to take a step back from its current policy. He says while he understands the need for government to find urgent solutions to its economic problems, its new tuition scheme will not only hurt the UWI, but Barbados' future development as well. Meantime, a former top health official is advising the government to keep basic health care free. Earlier this month, Prime Minister Frendel Stewart served notice that some Barbadians may soon have to pay for health care services. But former acting chief medical officer, Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, maintains that certain aspects of health care for children, as well as people suffering with chronic diseases, must remain free of cost.
I am adamant that basic health care must be available to all people.
So whatever they
do, they need to make sure that whoever needs it can get it. And those who can't pay must get it. So they have to look at whether it's going to be like an insurance, whether it's going to be a fee for service. I don't know what they're going to do. They have to look at the cost benefit of all of that. Disgruntled
workers of the Transport Board, who earlier today were refusing to accept partial severance payments, have had a change of heart. This afternoon, the workers were back at the Robert Street facility, this time to pick up checks from management. This morning, some refused the payments, demanding instead that they get the full amounts owed to them. But Barbados Today understands that the General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Sir Roy Trotman, subsequently met with the workers and advised them to accept the monies. It's not clear how many of them heeded his advice. An employee of First Caribbean International Bank is lucky to be alive this evening after her car exploded in the car park of the Warrens facility this afternoon. Yes, you heard it right. The incident occurred around 2 p.m. after Deborah Gibbs returned to work from her lunch break. According to eyewitnesses, her Ford Escape motor vehicle literally burst into flames. Thankfully, she escaped injury, so too those around, but all that remained of her vehicle was a burnt-out shell.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
In sport, Jamaica's Veronica Campbell-Brown has put months of difficulties behind her following a doping ban to register her first major return victory. Today, she took the Zurich Diamond League 100 meters in 11.04 seconds. Her time was the same as the second-place Muriel Ahore. Meantime, Jamaica's Kimar Bailey-Cole won the men's 100 meters ahead of the American Michael Rogers and Britain's James DeSalu. Former world record holder Asafa Powell and ex-world champion Tyson Gay, both who returned from drug bans this summer, finished 4th and 8th respectively. To regional news now, some sad news. Jamaica's Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Roger Clark has died. According to reports, Clark passed away after collapsing at the Fort Lauderdale Airport in Miami this morning. It is believed he died of a heart attack. He was on his way back home with his wife from the United States, where he was recuperating from a recent surgery to his back. Mr. Clark, a stalwart of the ruling People's National Party, was a sitting member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland. Our condolences go out to his family and, of course, to our Jamaican brothers and sisters. May he rest in peace. On the international scene, sexual exploitation of children is a source of a major heartache in one northern town in Europe. Just published reports have not named the town, but they say that 1,400 children were abused there over a 12-year period. What's more, the authorities who were aware of the situation reportedly turned a blind eye to it. We get more now in this CNN report.
It was unspeakable. I can't describe it to you in detail because it may disturb some of your audience. But to think that children were treated in such a way within the last 16 years anywhere is appalling.
Today's report looked at allegations in the years between 1997 and 2013. Over that 16-year period, it's estimated that 1,400 children were sexually exploited, though the true figure could be even higher. Those identified included some children who'd been doused in petrol and threatened with being set alight, and children who were threatened with guns and made to witness sexual assaults.
And that's been our 6 p.m. update. We'll be back again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper or like us on Facebook for the very latest news and sports. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or via Screenplay in a supermarket or gas station near you. I'm Kmar Jordan. Remember, Emmanuel Joseph comes up first thing at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
This news update is brought to you by